So, what we usually hear about causes of stuttering: neurology, psychology, genetics, brain and vocal cords injuries. And brain and vocal cord injuries I can understand, but neurology, psychology, and genetics, to me as a person who stutters, it doesn't say much, to be honest. So in this video, I'll tell you about two very direct causes of stuttering tension, stuttering anxiety, stuttering state. Two causes of stuttering, actually. We can clearly identify them and we can affect them effectively. So stay tuned. First, I want you to take a look at this tiny video. It says a lot about stuttering, and I'll tell you why once you watch it. So, what happens when we touch a snail? It tenses up, it locks up. Pretty much the same thing happens when we stutter. We feel tension, our body feels tension, and we lock up. Now, where this tension is coming from? Speech impediments by themselves, they're neutral, they don't have any tension. If you look at regular people, they have speech impediments, glitches, repetitions, so they have them from time to time, but there is no tension. No one is born with that tension in their speaking right from the start. First, we have the speech impediments, but only at a certain point the tension appears. So if we talk about causes of stuttering, there is no neurology, psychology, genetics to tension. There is psychology, neurology, genetics, heredity to speech impediments, but not to the tension. There are basically two reasons or causes we feel the tension. Our body feels the tension. And they're pretty simple. The first one is helplessness. Our body, we feel helpless in the face of those speech impediments. And it doesn't feel great. You want to say something, we want to say something, and we're helpless. We have speech impediments. We naturally, organically don't like it. Our body actually doesn't like it because, again, we have an intention and we cannot do it. So the second reason why we feel the tension, we feel negative about it. As I said, first, our body doesn't like it because it's something we don't want. But second, of course, it's the signals, the feedback, the assessment we get from the outside, from the world. No parent, no friend, no schoolmate, no office colleague, no stranger would say, "Wow, what a wonderful speech impediment. I love it. Awesome." No one tells that. Instead, we feel different feedback. Laughing, smiles, cringes, bullying, pity, saying, "Come on, relax, calm down, breathe," you name it. So the stuttering tension, the stuttering state, the stuttering anticipation, the stuttering anxiety, the stuttering iceberg, the heart of stuttering, is a concentrated negative feeling about it. And again, feeling doesn't mean only thinking about it. It means our body's response to that situation where we are helpless. Our body is helpless. Our speaking mechanism is helpless in the face of the speech impediments. So the first question is, how do we get positive about our speaking, about ourselves, even about speech impediments? And you might be thinking, okay, please skip this, give me some real tricks. What can I do? This is a very, very real thing. This is a very practical thing. As long as you're trying to hide your stuttering, as long as you're trying to hide your speech impediments, as long as you're pretending to be fluent, normal, regular, you have a lot of enormous pressure which turns into that tension, and that is basically part of stuttering. Desire to hide it is part of stuttering. So we want to dismantle it. We want to open up and be active and positive about this opening up. So 3 practical things I would suggest to do. The first one, in terms of being positive on a very mindset level, take a blank piece of paper and write down how stuttering has made you a better person. If you're struggling with this, I'm giving a link to my post about 10 facts that can make you more positive about stuttering. Is just a good food for thought. Second, open up. Join Free From Stutter Facebook group. Share a post. Make a post about yourself. You can go with a video speaking to the camera actually. It's also a great exercise because speaking to the camera, pretty safe thing, but it's still a huge step towards speaking compared to just talking to yourself, talking to the mirror. Speaking to the camera, having in mind your idea to post it, your intention to post it, it's a bit different thing. You still feel like you're interacting. We have openness challenges in this group, so you can participate in different activities. We have speaking club. We meet twice a month. Once we go live, so it's public. Another meeting is private, so where we can chat. You choose whatever format is right for you. And third, be active. So I suggest to take another blank piece of paper and write 10 things that come to your mind that you want to do but you're afraid of doing. Not necessarily involving speaking. Like for me, still is a scary thing to go and do a couple pull-ups. Because I know it's kind of not cool, especially when there's some young ladies or gentlemen around. I feel like, okay, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. So that's an exercise to go and do it. If I want to do it, I want to enjoy it. I want to goddamn do it right now. Because remember the snail, we don't want to lock up. We want to open up. And we start on a very, very mindset level. That's what we can do first. Again, you are amazing, you're beautiful, and you're unique. But at the same time, it's your responsibility to see that in yourself. It's your responsibility to let you be you. Tap into your inner power, which means just open up and be active and positive about yourself and interaction with the world, about speaking, because speaking is the way to interact with the world, one of the major ways. So this is our mindset level. We've done these 3 things, we're doing great. But the speech impediments with tension still don't go away. And you might be wondering, okay, if the tension is a concentrated negative feeling, if I'm becoming more positive about my interaction, speaking, even speech impediments, why the tension is still there? Well, and the truth is, our behavior is regulated, is directed not only by our conscious mind. Most of it is pretty much automated. So it's directed from a different place. Let's call it subconscious if you wish. And it gives a much faster and more direct response to what's happening around than our conscious mind. And let's take an example. Imagine you see in front of you a shark. You're in the water, you see the shark. What's your reaction? My reaction and most people's reaction is we freeze. We tense up so much that we cannot move. At that point, every cell of your body starts thinking, how can I survive? So we freeze, we tense up, and we lock up again. So even before we get to that thinking mindset level, our body has already given a very direct and fast response. The same thing happens with our speaking and speech impediments. Our body feels that helplessness that we have about the speech impediments. So you might be wondering, what's the cause, what's the reason, what's the ground for that helplessness? Why our body feels helpless about the speech impediments? And what can we do about it? So imagine this is a space for your sound, syllable, just the unit our phrase, our speaking consists of. So instead of the whole sound syllable, I'm putting half of it. I'm taking half of the space. So what happens? It builds up, it sums up into an empty space at some point, which is a speech impediment. And our body, on a very physical level, subconscious level, it reads that, it knows that. So it starts to sabotage our speaking right before we even start speaking. It builds up that tension because it doesn't want to play a game that it will lose. And let's take a look at speech easy devices and other delayed auditory feedback devices and apps. So what they do, they give a signal to our ear, they give us a signal that we're further along the line, that we've put more to our speaking. In fact, we haven't, and it doesn't change the way we speak, our speaking pattern, but it tells our body, okay, no worries, you're on the right track, you're at the right spot. What singing does? Oh, misty eye of the mountain below. Oh, misty eye of the mountain below. Of course, we feel that we're putting more than enough. We safely feel, our body safely feels we're on the right track. Unless it's a very fast singing, and again, we're not singing properly, we're not putting enough there. And take a look at actors, singers, public speakers. Every time you're performing, you're free to put there enough. You're allowed to do that. You give yourself permission. It's not exactly you, it's somebody else doing it. Like me right now. I feel that I can put more to my speaking. It's not asking directions. Excuse me, it's a different state. There is a lot of energy, outgoing energy, that lets you express yourself. Like this guy from Tony Robbins' show.
Guys, 30 years of stuttering, stammering, but that was the condition that I chose. I chose to stay there. I chose to identify as a stutterer. Because why? I was afraid of greatness. I was afraid of my light shining. But no more. Because today, I am the voice. Today, I am the warrior. Today.
The guy was expressive on the stage, which is awesome, which is great. But again, it doesn't change the speaking pattern, this one. Because we have tons and tons of muscle emotional memory. We've created, our body has created those neural pathways. Neural pathways? So what do? I suggest 3 practical steps on this physical, subconscious level to make sure that we're putting enough to our speaking, and to make sure that we replace that helplessness our body feels about the speech impediments with confidence that we associate with the very act of speaking, again on a very physical, subconscious level. On the level of that direct response that our body gives. So the first step, the first thing I suggest doing is just feeling the air flow, feeling our breathing out as we're saying a piece of speaking, a phrase, something that we say in one breathing out. So to tap into this airflow thing, to feel it better, I suggest 3 exercises. The first one is just humming with the sound m, and then we go to ma and back, but we still keep one airflow. So it sounds like humming. Ma, ma. We don't interrupt the airflow as we close our mouth. It's not like ma. It's mom, mom. So we want to feel the airflow going even though we close our mouth. And I suggest doing it as long as you can, imagining like you're speaking, like mom, 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 mom. And I suggest doing it like 7 times in a row to really feel your diaphragm getting tired. It's a great exercise to relax the vocal cords, to train your diaphragm, and just to feel the airflow going. The second exercise, which is very similar, I want you to just produce some sound. Let's say and I want you to close the vocal cords so that the airflow becomes really, really, really tiny. Like and then go back and forth. And also do it as long as you can, like 7-8 times, to really develop the diaphragm, relax the vocal cords, and tap into that confidence associated with the airflow, with your breathing out. I also suggest to start different words with that. I call it old fax machine exercise. Like we start with let's say us. So we say us. Let's say what? What? Let's say me. Me. You can play with different words, with different sounds, but eventually it's a good exercise to feel how you can start your speaking. Instead of feeling that anticipation and tension, we can just take our time and think a bit, like this one. Would you like a big bottle? Yeah, the big one. And the third exercise, I suggest to play with phrases. Imagine you want to say the phrase, I can see you from here. So my body is getting tense subconsciously, even before I kind of think much about it, because it feels there's ku sound and there's su sound. And I feel that these sounds are like the wall in front of my airflow. And I go like, and I'm thinking how to get over that ku. So a great exercise, I call it the airplane exercise. When you feel it, your sound, your voice goes up, 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 and then down. So let's try to grow that sound. So it goes like, I can. And you can throw it to me as a ball. I can. So we climb up the mountain and then we go down. It's like a roller coaster. First we need to create the airflow and then we use that airflow. I call this exercise the airplane because we go up, up, up and then down. I can. So it's not I can. So if ku sound is the wall, this wall doesn't exist anymore because we get way higher than this wall. Now this is just an exercise. We also want to make that I a bit shorter because I is not much stressed, but we still want to put some substance to that I to make sure we step on a firm ground. So we say, I can see you. Now the next point is s. I can can s. So n is stopping the airflow, and s feels like another wall. I don't have the airflow for that s. We want to connect them together. I want you to imagine it's not can see, but can see. N goes to the second next finger. We're using hand technique, but let's imagine two kind of spaces. Can see. And C is a great articulation exercise. Give me one C, please. 2 and C, 3 and C. And you also throw it to me as a ball. Can see. Can see. So we say, I can see you. I can see you from here. We've created the airflow for our speaking piece, for our phrase. We're making sure we've put enough this way to our speaking. We use some of the singing if you wish, because every stressed syllable, every time we put more, we do exactly the same thing what singing does. And every nice speaking, nice sounding speaking sounds like music. There is some melody inside. We want to make sure that the stressed syllables are emphasized, and each time we emphasize something, we feel the firm ground because we are putting enough at that point. That's why I want to put more expressing ourselves. Imagine you're an actor, imagine you're a public speaker, imagine you're a singer. You are a performer on the stage. The second step on this very physical level that we can take is using the hand stuttering technique. Being expressive is awesome. And if you're an actor, singer, public speaker, performer, you are able to tap into different states when you're expressive. But most of the time, we still are kind of in our regular life and want to make sure that when we see the shark, when the speaking is coming and there is always danger and our body is giving that direct response of tension, we want to make sure that we are able to tap into that moment and participate in that direct physical response. And what our hand does when we use our hand, when we synchronize our speaking with using our hand, we make sure that we launch our speaking with our hand. We get into stresses. We're making sure that we're putting enough into each of the stressed syllables in our phrase. And we make sure that we split our speaking into nice pieces. And I'm not teaching the hand stuttering technique in this video. Obviously, it takes some time and some practice, and we do it in Free From Stutter program, but I want you to get a feeling of it. And if you play just a bit with yourself, it's still a great exercise. So first, we just want to get a feeling of connection between using our fingers, pressing our fingers, and producing sounds. And we launch our speaking with our thumb, so we say, I can. Growing that sound first, feeling that connection. I can. Then we say our phrase, one finger, one syllable. I can see you from here. First, you can give yourself more time just to get a feeling of that connection. I can see you from here. But want to feel it's one breathing out. You can play differently, putting more stress to different fingers, feeling how they respond, feeling that connection. So we say, I can see you from here. And then as we practice and as you nail it, we get to a faster pace. We say, I can see you from here. I can see you from here. So we get to a pretty regular pace, just putting more to the stressed syllables. And we use our fingers mostly just to feel the stresses in our speaking. And again, we do this in Free From Stutter program. We nail that, you nail it in a couple months, then it's all about using the training speech, and that's a separate topic where we create different real-life situations using the training speech. Again, being expressive, playing with our voice, doing the exercise is awesome. But when it comes to real life speaking, it happens so fast, and we have this shark, this danger in front of us, and we have tons of muscle and emotional memory, neural patterns that work automatically. If we want to tap into that physical level and really profoundly change that, we want to have some physical ground, some physical foundation. Otherwise, once we get into that tension, once we feel that tension, we just tap into our default speaking, and all our exercises that we do at home, in the therapy room, in front of the mirror, even in front of the camera, they collapse. So using hand creates those new neural pathways, patterns, much faster in a much more profound way. Now, the third step is consistency. This is very simple math. If you're tapping to your confidence on that physical level, let's say you're using the hand stuttering technique or maybe your other tool, if you're using 10% of your speaking, and the other 90%, you just let it go as it goes. You get back to your default speaking, you might be even fluent. But your speaking is insecure. Your body reads that. It knows it's insecure. The speaking is insecure. It is still in that alerted, in that tense mode. So it's all about how much we put to our muscle and emotional memory, how much confidence we put there. We literally want to outweigh tons of muscle and emotional memory that created certain neural patterns, neural pathways, with new experiences where we link, where associate that physical reaction, that subconscious reaction to speaking settings, speaking situations, with confidence, with putting enough to our speaking. So it takes consistency and it takes time. That's why I call it a training speech. It's not a trick or technique we're using from time to time. We want to feel that our speaking is safe and confident. We're putting enough to our speaking on a constant basis, on a consistent basis. This way we really start forming new neural pathways, new neural patterns. So the speaking, the shark, creates a different response. It's not dangerous anymore. So we start feeling differently about the act of speaking and the speech impediments. We don't feel the tension about the speech impediments anymore. Yes, we have the same neurology, psychology, the same brain, and we might have more speech impediments than other people. But what is important is your feeling about the speech impediments. At this point, you're really okay with your speech impediments because your body is okay with them. I hope this video helps in your understanding of stuttering. And the two takeaways I want you to have after watching this video. The first one, it is okay to stutter. And the second one, there is a lot we can do about stuttering. If you like this video, give me your thumbs up. For more videos, subscribe to this YouTube channel. For more interaction, join Free From Stutter Facebook group. And if you want to go deeper into what we actually can do about stuttering, head over to freefromstutter.com and join my free Improve program. And see you in the next video. Oh, misty of the mountain below. First, I want you to take a look. Doesn't say much, to be honest. It's not blah, 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 blah. we put the it's not ba 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 ba, but something to our natural souls. And again, we do this in free from stutter program.